honest with you, if I can go 8 hours into that sort of terrible maw, then I'm, stop me. Really, at that point, call the ambulance and tell me to stop. So I'm not really sure where to start with all this. This is a pretty 4-color superhero game. We're not really going into the darker aspects of the gritty realism, although there will be moments where that exists. It takes place in a setting that's kind of running concurrently. I've been running the same superhero setting for about 33 years now. And so there's background and different things, material. It is modern day Earth with a lot of differences depending on how you view it. We had to talk last night what it was most like. I actually think it was probably a little closer to the DC universe, but it definitely has more of the personable aspects of Marvel. We're utilizing a basic game system, which I will help do the mechanics of on my end, based on a percentile dice system that was published, the old Marvel Face Rip system. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it. It was published from around 84 to about 94. It's a pretty simple system, and for any checks we'll be making, we'll be using percentile dice. That's the best way to put it. So I guess the real question to start is, do y'all have any initial questions?
The only question there was that I think Ken already asked you, that I had read with you, what sort of level of hero are we talking about? I think you mentioned it's sort of like street level.
It's probably better than street level. I'm always hard about gauging it. It's not Justice League and it's not Avengers, but if you're familiar with the old Marvel Defenders, sans Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, that group, like the later ones, it's like kind of like the 80s X-Men. There's a level of power there, but it's not to the point where it's like, I choose to get rid of the Himalayan mountains this afternoon. A lot of it's going to be driven by what kind of character you want to play. So some characters will have a lot of specialized ability, maybe, and some characters may have one or two things and a lot of comparable skills or similar things. So I think if I had to honestly kind of place the level, it would be kind of low-end global. Okay. High-end street, low-end global. Somewhere within that medium range. I feel like I'm that Spider-Man trailer where Iron Man goes, do anything I would do, but do nothing I wouldn't do. This little area. No, it's really more on the idea of the power levels are kind of going to be, there are going to be some powers that are kind of off the table. Anything that alters reality, I'm kind of against. Anything that manipulates time, I'm usually against. But it's really depending on what you were sort of like looking to want to do.
Okay.
Now we're going to have 2 minutes where we're not going to say nothing. No.
Excellent. That's 2 minutes on TV.
And it's on TV. It's going to be recorded, and he's going to have to watch it. We're just going to all everybody freeze frame.
That was me manipulating time.
What did I tell you? What did I say? I said no time manipulation. What did I tell you?
It was frowned on. You didn't say it was completely banned.
I'll rephrase it. I'm a firm believer in the concept of paradox. If you manipulate time, do you know what you get out of it? You get like a whole lot of problems. Alternate timelines, and the entire second season of The Flash. Third season of The Flash.
A singularity.
I think that's good. I think it's good.
You thought that the third season was good?
I think the first season was a little better.
I agree with you. I think
he told the story of what he was.
Yeah.
I think it mostly required, as much of the Golden Glider as possible. The one that showed the most Golden Glider was the best one.
And while I agree with you on principle, I'm always going to yell that anytime you can have a psionic gorilla on your show, that's the way to go. It's not just a superhuman gorilla, it's a gorilla with mental powers. So I think that's definitely awesome. Let me give a little background on what's going on, and maybe that would probably be the case. So it's 2017. And this entire campaign is based around the idea that you're probably a powered individual or perhaps a very skilled individual in the modern day. And there have been superheroes that exist in costume since around 1660 AD. And it's a real mismatch of science and technology, and there are gods. But as there have been so many superhumans throughout history, there's also been kind of like there's not the same level of animosity that the mutants get, like in the X-Men books or whatever. Aliens are pretty accepted. Within about the last 2 years, an entire fleet of refugee aliens landed on Earth, making up about 16 different species, and they requested asylum, which they were granted. There are large villains groups and small villain groups, although they're not as prevalent, because of events that players have done in other locations or things that have just happened in the background. One of the things that's kind of always been in the background of the heroes was around 1934, probably one of the earliest superhuman groups got together called the Distinguished Society. And this was made up of a group of heroes that are vaguely pastiches of people like Mandrake the Magician or Flash Gordon, that sort of group. And they were pretty much at the front lines of everything from 1934 to 1962. And in September 1962, all of a sudden, without word, they broke up. And no one knows exactly what caused it. No one understood the situation. It became kind of an urban legend because it was linked to something else that happened. The very next day, a being of extraordinary power appeared, calling himself Dr. Stardust. And Dr. Stardust did a Dr. Manhattan in the middle of America and started a rampage. And as Dr. Stardust was building in power, most of the Golden Age heroes banded together to try to stop him, which led to a battle outside of Omaha, Nebraska, which wiped out pretty much all of the Golden Age heroes. Not all of them, but it severely limited out about 85% of people with powers at that time who went and took place in that battle were gone. It took a long time for things to recover. The Distinguished Society got linked to this because they announced that they were breaking up the day before. And then this happened. And it's been a question that a lot of people have asked. It's kind of one of those urban myths that one led to the other. But no one knows much about who they were really past what the public saw. And there's not been any reason to question what happened until now. This very day when we start playing. And what I need to get from everybody tonight is kind of an idea what your characters like, what you want to do, kind of a rough idea of what you would like to see with your character, the sorts of things you like and don't like. And then one final question, which is simple. I need to know where your character would be in New York on a Monday evening at 6:30 in the evening. And that's pretty much what I thought we might be able to kind of set up tonight, let everybody kind of know what people are playing, answer any questions you guys might have, and then kind of go from there. So I turn it over to you.
Okay, so like, what are we talking about? Like, we should be thinking about focusing on like one type of power. Like
I'm looking at, well, it's more about the way I kind of look at it is if you have a concept, you don't have to focus around one specific type of power. It's really whatever your concept is. Like if you wanted to be.
You want me to do this? We already talked about kind of what I do.
Yeah, of course, you're ready.
You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Mark. You know what I mean?
No.
You know what I mean? Because we already kind of talked, so you have an idea where I'm going already. So, I plan on playing a character that is based around David Haller. If you don't know that name, you may know it by the TV show that was released about him this year called Legion. He is okay, you may not know. He's a little bit of a more obscure Marvel superhero. He is the product of Charles Xavier and a woman named Gabrielle Haller, and it is in the regular 616 universe. Yeah, it's just not a character that's mentioned very much. There's a very limited amount written about him, really.
He's an omnipath. He has
Yeah, he's an
multiple
omnipath.
psionic. He's pretty much he's at some point he's like Xavier is, but he has a couple of twists to him that he's definitely Professor Xavier's son.
He's definitely Professor Xavier's son.
Considered an omnipath, he manipulates almost the traditional spectrum for psionic abilities is telepathy, telekinesis, and some people say teleportation, but I always say pyrokinesis. Although I always think that's a very
right, and that's exactly what David is. Well, Silas is, because David is only the idea to this. So what? Long and the short of it is this. Like Mark said, he'll have abilities that he knows of with. Let me back up. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Along with his abilities, he has a dissociative identity disorder. I'm keeping that as well because I love it. A little bit of schizophrenia, and he has multiple personalities. The personalities are where his powers come from. So the 3 powers that he knows of right now are the telepathy, the telekinesis, and the pyrokinesis. Each one of those has a personality, and you will meet all 3 of those people. I haven't locked down exactly the names of the 3 people yet. I'm going to follow the path that the 3rd one is going to be a female. Pyrokinesis personality 4. And the other 2 will be male. To tell you the truth, I'll probably follow exactly what his model is, having the first one be pretty aggressive, having the second one be fairly heroic, and then the 3rd one being the female who's very rebellious. So he doesn't have a very good way of communicating to people because of his, because of his personality disorder, and he doesn't deal with situations very well because the personalities take over when anything gets a little too hairy for him per se. He's
it won't ever go bad. There's not going to be
it never. You know what I mean? Now in the comic books, the character's name is Legion. You know what I mean? The big geeks like us call him David Haller. He has about 60-something known personalities.
Well,
there's no way we're gonna be able to try to do that. There's no way.
And to be fair with you, Corey, as I said, 3 of them. The other 57,
yeah, and I was about to say,
I'm just going to say it's going to be a fun experience, but kind of going off of that, the thing about Legion is that when he has moments of extraordinary clarity.
Yep.
And certain things would be revealed. So your motivation, I think, is probably going to be more akin to also to the fact that when you pitch the idea, I'd normally go, well, I'm not sure that would work right off the bat. But in this case, it works fine. And I'll tell you why when we get further into it.
Okay.
But the real kind of core of his abilities it's sort of what I was saying, is it's the conceptual idea, but he has kind of an omnipathic ability. He has the ability to use telekinesis. He can do pyrokinesis, and he can do telepathy. And then we just need to work out the details as to where you've been within this world. And that's not difficult.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because there are
physical. He's been in a mental hospital. That's exactly where he's been.
Well, much like in like different comic book universes, except for Marvel, for some reason, they actually have specialized places for telepaths who occasionally go a little bit crazy.
Okay, works for me.
Specifically, quit it. Specifically to prevent them from doing things like, let's say, lay low an entire, major metropolitan city with psionic attack, or as I always call it, Professor X has Alzheimer's from the Logan movie, and you see how well that worked out.
Yeah, that worked out great.
He's good. Fine. He'll walk it off. It's fine. He can't walk.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So I guess, to kind of get you to where you kind of need to be here a little bit, Andy, like I said, I am cloning a character that I really love. But you could do as exactly as you said. If you want to just a super strong dude like the Hulk or something like that, then that's what you go to. You know what I mean?
We have there are going to be a lot of opportunities. And I think that one of the things to kind of bring up as well is if you have an idea you'd like to try, I am more than willing to try to work it out and put it in here. So if you have a character you really want to go for or something you'd like to do, we'll hammer it out. We'll make it work.
All right. I mean, I've always been kind of a fan of the speedsters. So yeah,
Speedsters are always fun. They're fun on so many levels. Are you now to answer the question? When you say speedster, are you a Quicksilver person or a Flash person? I'm not asking for any reason. I just
right. Yeah. No, I know the universe we're in, but always been more Flash.
That's absolutely fine, and I don't judge you for it.
For Quicksilver's way cooler. Sorry.
Well, Quicksilver's the greater asshole. I think we're all great. I like I enjoyed the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, but I got to tell you, I thought that the Quicksilver from the Age of Ultron was absolutely dead on, and I liked his speed. But so you're looking at more of a traditional.
Hang on, I need some clarification. Now, are you the ultimate Quicksilver in that you're trying to creepily sleep with your sister?
Oh, it wasn't trying, Ken. They flat out said
that's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's why we don't accept the ultimate.
I told you this is a PG rated thing, all right? Now look at you. Stepping across the line again. I'll be quiet.
I'll tell you what, if you'd like to basically take it up with my other players, I'll tell you what, I will let you, but I'll show you some of their concepts, and I'm just going to say, but the Flash is perfectly acceptable. So you're looking, there have been heroes and villains that exist here that have been speedsters. So there's a speedster tradition in some ways that the Flash type of speedsters would probably, that they can fit in better with.
Okay.
Mutants. I should probably go very clear that if you wanted to play like the person that gained their abilities, sort of like what Corey's doing, they don't come out and hunt you with giant robots. You're not as much of a threat as other things are. It's like, you got powers? Well, we'll just register you and we'll use one of our various other programs if necessary, but you're not the threat. We don't think you're going to rise up and take over. Aliens tried to invade us in 1992, and now they're here. We have other people we can point at. So a speedster, you're talking about traditional, when you're talking about Flash, you're talking about like not only the running, but the actual.
Well, so I mean, that's kind of the issue. If you look at some of the things that the Flash can do canonically,
yeah,
are way super overpowered. So I'm expecting that not everything, like can't just like jump dimensions, can't run through time, can't.
Legion is one of the most overpowered superheroes ever.
Yes, but what he has access to at any one time, it's like, to me, it's like that's not as overpowered as some of the things. Because at the end of the day, Legion is still dependent on one of his personalities to use his abilities. And while he could do terrible things, his powers are limited by who has control of them. The Flash is absolutely right. I mean, him jumping dimensions, but molecularly running across water or vibrating his body, I don't think that's overpowered. I think that's just part of the power set. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, and some of his like some of the things, the way that they use that is essentially like you need to just about everything because you can do like you nothing. Because his mind works at such a faster speed. It's almost impossible to hit. You know, it's done unless you catch him sleeping. Like some of that stuff is as they've written the comics about just him, they've had to keep making bigger and bigger stakes.
Yes.
To get him out of it. And all like power speed is getting like more and more and more, which would be cool, but at some level they get too much, I would imagine.
Is anybody else's sound for Andy weird?
I got most of what Andy said.
Yeah, but I am picking up some static.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Let's move my thing away from. It may have been me. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mute yourself for a moment, Mark.
Nope.
Nope.
Jack, mute yourself. There it is. That computer Jackson uses has been dropped to the floor more times than I can count, so it's probably his computer.
I'm still hearing it. Mute yourself, Corey.
Same here.
And last but not least, buddy, mute yourself there, wayward son.
I had.
Andy, could you mute yourself again for a second? It's Andy.
Right?
Well, we'll figure it out. But stepping back, Andy, I agree with you on the Flash.
It's coming from you, Andy,
But I
unfortunately.
kind of think at the same time, if you were to bring in, like, you know, when the Flash first started out and he just had his core abilities and he was learning how to do all that stuff, that would be a perfect place to start and still maintain sort of the concept of what that kind of speedster is. Because I think you were absolutely right. There are some things, I mean, the thing that got me recently was where he was speeding up his thought process in the comic so he could think faster. And it was like, that's like the Reed Richards thing. They said, well, if he elongates his brain, he becomes smarter, right? So I'd say that if we just established the core basic beginning levels of the Flash, which are the speed and the different feats that he really began with, would that be acceptable to you conceptually to build off of?
Yeah.
Because that would be absolute. That's not, I mean, I've always kind of went back and looked at like the old 60s Silver Age Flashes. I like this. I really like the Flash at one time as well. Though Green Lantern was always my pick. But the thing is when he started off and when they went to Wally West in the 80s, he started off only able to be running Mach 3, and then he had all of these other skills he developed. If we kind of went back and went to him, that would work better, I think, starting out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so a Flash type character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking Barry, right? Talking Barry's version of the Flash.
Are
You
you
guys hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was overall. Yeah, I mean, it's that original feel to it, not like
It's not Jake
it's
Garrett.
not reversed or anything like that.
Probably would be Gary Allen, maybe Wally West, but
Yeah, I was
Who's your
saying.
favorite
You
Flash
looking
out of
at
curiosity, Andy?
reverse.
That's not no.
Don't you be talking about Professor Zoom. He'll go back in time and make you do terrible things like create Flashpoint.
That would have been funny to hear.
Probably just plain old Gary Allen.
I always tell people my favorite villain group to ever. I've thrown them at people when I ran a mainline game was the Rogues, because I'm like, they all have guns and yet they're highly effective. They fight the fastest man in the world and they win a lot more. And I have a special love in my heart for Captain Cold because I think he's awesome. Because for a long time he was just rocking the polar parka. You can't really be a supervillain in a jet blue parka and pull that look off and be like intimidating. It's like the same thing with Brainiac when they used to have Brainiac being with the shorts. You'd stop and laugh at him, but then he turned into the metal Brainiac, which was scary. So a Flash type who, all right. Well, I'm going to have follow-up questions as we go through concepts.
Right.
Makes sense. Jackson. Now
Yeah.
I apologize, Jackson. Right?
Yes, you got it right.
Okay. I just want to make sure I had it right because, you know, there are times where if I can screw up names like nobody's business.
I do that sometimes too.
Well, at least I appreciate you basically being patient with that.
Yeah, I've been patient.
What kind of thing would you like to talk about doing?
Okay, so I've been watching so much of Deadpool, and I just feel like I want to have like a character kind of like that.
So a combat guy who regenerates tremendously amount.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense because let me tell you, regeneration comes in handy. Ask Wolverine.
Yep. But
The skeleton helps
more
Wolverine.
Wolverine, so that's
So when you're playing a Deadpool character, what's the thing you like most about Deadpool?
Sometimes he's a dick. Sorry about my language.
Okay. But at the same time, he maintains that, well, I guess I better do what this is.
Yeah, he has to finish the job.
Finish the job.
He's got names and everything already. He did a lot of work today.
What you got for me?
His name is Richie Cass. It's Case.
Richie Case.
Mm-hmm. And Scaredevil.
Scaredevil. Richie, let me make sure I can read my own writing because I know that I'm going to screw that up somewhere. Let me make sure I got this right. Your name is Richie Case.
Mm-hmm.
And your code name is Scaredevil.
Yep.
Now, were you born with your... And I'm going to ask these follow-up questions to Andy.
Yeah, he was born with this brain regeneration.
Okay, so you are actually... So the term that they utilize a lot of times is that they're...
I don't usually get hurt that much because it just regenerates that fast, I guess.
Just don't get into a fight with somebody that can also regenerate. You'll be here all day.
Yep.
Also, don't piss off the Flash guy because you can regenerate being road rashed at 700 miles an hour. That leaves such a terrible... That actually becomes a point where it's okay, I'm going to regenerate, but I'm now in Kansas. I got to come back. There's a villain that exists in this universe who is considered by... He had the Flash origin. He's a supervillain, and he had the great decision, should I go out and do good with my powers or rip people, rob banks, and make a lot of money? I don't want to hurt nobody, but I am the world. And as Serge had once found out, it wasn't the fact that he could hit him, it's the fact that he created a jet stream and drug him 300 miles toward Pennsylvania and then let him go. It was like, bye, enjoy the Great Lakes, see you later.
That's it.
Sorry you got exposed to the Great Lakes. That's terrible. Caught fire once.
That's so
So, you've been basically a mercenary for hire?
That's his second job.
Okay, what's his first job?
He's trying to find somebody that hurt him pretty bad when he was younger.
Oh, I think we can work that in. You're looking for revenge.
Yeah, he's looking for revenge since he was 10 years old.
So they took you when you were 10.
No, he got shot by something.
Shot at
And-
10.
He doesn't know who he shot it by, so he's trying to find that out.
Oh, I'm sure we can help you with that little problem.
And that's all. Yeah, as Jackson explained to me, that's also how he realized that he had his powers.
Well, I'll tell you, when you get back from being a whole blown thing you that big, that's a good time to find out you have regeneration. It's okay. I'm all right. It just burns when I try to eat or breathe or put my hand through my chest. Otherwise, I'm fine. So, Richie's been on the trail. Now, how did Richie get his training? Did he go into the military? Did he just pick where he up?
He took some classes, but then he just learned it by himself all the time.
So you
Whenever he had the free time, he just learned how to fight and all that.
I see. So he's self-taught. You didn't go to that and learn at the feet of like the master of Kung Fu. So you don't know like the exploding heart technique. That's good to know because I had this big issue with people trying to bring in martial artists who like went to, where did you learn your karate for the exploding heart technique? Well, I went down the street and there was a guy teaching Taekwondo and he was also teaching that afternoon the exploding heart technique. It's like, you guys need to be in like Tibet for a while to learn that. No. All right. Finally, last but not least. Oh, Ken.
Yes.
What do you want to tell us about your character before we go to round 2 of the questions?
Well, that's a puzzlement, isn't it?
You know, it certainly can be a puzzlement.
What, my character can't be puzzlement?
Oh, you can be a puzzlement. You should know by now. I'll let you be a puzzlement. It's just, there's puzzlement and then there's like bewilderment and possibly even you've become a conundrum.
So I'm debating, and I intentionally kind of hid in the background until the end on purpose. So we've got a speedster, we've got a ninja, we got our martial artist, we've got our mentalist. So we're missing brick and projector. And I asked Carl what he wanted to be, and he's going to be something special.
Like special.
Special.
Okay.
Just trust me, he'll be special.
You know what? I don't judge.
Wait till you meet Huckavist next Tuesday.
Before we go any further on that, since these two of you are here, you don't need to answer this right now, but I would like to know if you're going to do anything about Huckavist eating a person.
I'm sorry. Can you step back just a moment?
Yeah?
I think somebody just said that a player character cannibalized someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now were they starving to death?
No, not even a little. So anyhow,
It was because he wanted to.
These are just the questions I ask. When someone brings up cannibalism in a game and there's not an actually good reason, the first thought that comes to my mind is, wait, what race are they?
tiefling.
Ah.
So anyhow, that's a story for another day. I just wanted the other two to they could think about that while I was coming up, buying time to make up my answer.
I see. Please be distracted over here. The answer's over here.
So I tell you what, I'll throw it out to the group. I basically had three options. And I'd like to get input on them.
Okay.
The first and simplest is megalith, which is basically an enormous rock thing type brick. The second is we'll call him Burnout for right now. He is energy projector, probably fire. The twist being that if this is, I think it's an option, and I'm sure you can make it an option. We can figure out how it works. So basically, his energy power is at a whatever a reasonable level is, but once every so often he can kind of nova burst it. Not nearly that powerful, but you get the general idea.
Yeah, I get really twitchy when people want to like fuse indestructible materials like adamantium-esque materials. I get a little twitchy, but
no, it wouldn't be that powerful. Just he can up his power a bit at the cost of basically losing it for the rest of ever how long.
He has an endurance cost.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Well, what it is, it's what happens to Johnny Storm when he Nova bursts. He's usually like passing out somewhere until he can get his power back.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And the third one, which based on what I've heard from everyone else, I think I probably need to play would be Paragon type, which is Shazam light, but at least we'd have one. Well, Andy might be good, but everyone else sounds chaotic at best. So we'd have at least one moral compass amongst the lot.
And I should probably draw this out just for a second. I don't embrace the idea of if you're playing a superhero game and you delve into supervillainy, there are controls in place. The real reason I don't want you to feel obligated to go against your idea, but if you open up fire in the middle of a public place, there will be consequence, and the consequences are very brutal and probably very direct. And I'm not saying you have to be heroic, but even characters like Deadpool, and I'm not picking on Richie because I like that name. The fact of it is Deadpool was very specific about the level of violence he would unleash. And the real thing is this is a superhero game. So I'm not going to say you can't basically throw a tank on somebody. I'm just saying when you throw a tank, remember that guy's got friends. And as we have with the Peggy Freeman Memorial Rule, as Peggy learned, if you smash a supervillain whose entire trick is throwing little spears at people, and you smash him with a tanker truck, he will come back as a kill crazy cyborg at some point. Completely obsessed with your destruction at every level. That's a possibility. But a moral compass, so when you say like a Shazam type, you're talking about like empowered by the gods sort of figure who is the impediment.
The background doesn't have to be Shazam type. I'm thinking more the Captain Whitebread mentality, kind of the just a good traditional hero trope. You know what I'm saying? Kind of the anti-Deadpool, I guess, would be kind of my thought. But I'm just happy to be playing. So I've got so many ideas that I haven't been able to use in forever that I thought I'd kind of throw it out amongst my fellow players and see if they had any of those that they like or don't like that could help me make my decision.
I like the idea of you playing a projector, Ken.
Well, let me ask let me get into my second questions because this might help you, Ken, at some level. So we know that, and if I'm overstepping, you got to shout out. We know that Jackson we know that Silas and Richie are powered from birth.
Yeah.
What about Andy, your Flash type? Did he gain his powers through an accidental exposure, or was he born with them?
Would have been born with him, but wouldn't have known about it until end of high school.
So effectively, the three, that actually works out fairly well. So you're looking at the fact that a lot of you have had your abilities your entire life, and something either happened that sparked them, being shot through the chest this big, or high school having a flashpoint. Not flashpoint, right? Okay, Wookie, don't look at me.
I think your vibes do that echo thing, dude.
Let's see if I can.
Oh no, this is a Ken issue. It's normal.
Okay.
What's that, Corey?
I think your mic's doing that echo thing.
Oh, sorry. I didn't do anything. I wasn't even near it. But I shall mute it.
So the one thing is you have at least one figure, Andy, your Flash character type. He's basically heroic, right? He's a costume figure.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know where Silas will end up. That isn't a terrible problem. And
no, he walks around in plain clothes.
Well, if they let you out of the hospital.
Yeah, if they let me out of the pen and I'm not into some jumpsuit, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that Richie is looking for the person that shot him. Richie, you were 10 at the time. Did you lose the rest of your family when this happened?
Not really.
So your family's still alive?
Yeah, I'm just living by myself by this time.
To protect them?
Yeah, from a distance, so.
Does your family think you're dead?
They might think I'm dead, but they don't really know.
You disappeared?
Yeah, I disappeared one day and I just didn't come back.
Well, you were 10 years old, you disappeared, okay.
Wait, now did you disappear when you were 10, Jackson, or did you disappear later?
When I got done with school, I disappeared.
So you left home after you graduated? You didn't
Yes.
disappear once you got a hole blown through you?
No.
Okay.
They didn't know that I was there the whole time.
Well, I'll just put it this way, if you had a hole this big through you and you healed from that, if they did notice, then they're going to probably have a lot more questions. But effectively, you just decided, I'm out of here and I'm gone, and now you're trying to hunt down the man that shot you.
Also trying to protect my family at the same time.
Oh, so you think your family's in danger?
I'm just trying not to make that guy come back and just get my family again. So that's why I became scared of at this time.
Has the person that shot you threatened your family before, Jackson?
No. Here's probably what, if he doesn't know who shot him, if they threatened his family, it's very doubtful he'd know. I mean, you've been watching them from the side.
Mm-hmm.
Not computer tapping into their systems, or if they're being threatened, I mean, why would they shoot you?
I know.
Especially a 10-year-old, you know, I got to tell you, it's almost like they were aiming to make something happen that didn't happen, like you were going to be an example, but that just doesn't happen. Especially when you showed back up for dinner and all that. It's really hard to say, this is what happens. Oh, crap, the kid's back. Well, that's interesting. We got to rethink our threatening the father who works on different things strategy. Wait till those other kids get 10, and then, you know, we'll try this again. Hopefully they don't come back. It's getting really old because we keep going through.
Family that shot you.
Oh, I think that'll be fun. So, Ken, what we have is a bunch of people that are either young. I would assume everybody here is young and starting out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a bunch of people who are effectively new in the response that they've had their abilities. Some people have had better access to them over a period of time. I'd say it really depends on the kind of experience you want to help bring in this. If you played Megalith, is he always a brick like the Thing?
I think I've decided against Megalith in that Scaredevil can be brickish, not so much that he just doesn't take the damage, but he, regenerates.
But not a lot of it.
Well, the entire point is regeneration is not invulnerability. Regeneration means you can heal from the damage, but as we've seen with people who have, the most stupid levels of regeneration I've ever seen in a character was not Deadpool. That actually is an old Marvel character called Madcap. Because Madcap could regenerate completely from like being burned down to his feet in a matter of a minute. And the big point about that is, I think what they did in the Deadpool movie, which I liked a lot, was where What's-His-Face shoves the iron pipe through him and sticks him to the ground. And he has to wait till the building burns down around him before he gets up. So I kind of feel like invulnerability, just to be clear, that's not very brickish. It's just healing. It means you can keep going. It means you won't feel the pain. It doesn't mean you don't take the damage.
Or even at the beginning of the movie, like Jackson knows really well, it's like when he got his hand cut off, and it took a week for it to grow back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I kind of feel like the thing is if you're looking at a brick, if you feel you're going to need a brick, and trying not to kind of not giving too much away, because I kind of want to get you guys to that point without giving anything away. Any of those ideas will work. I haven't heard anything yet that I'm absolutely saying, that there's no way I can work with that. I think everything you brought up is fine. You've got outs, you've got connections, you've got the fact that you have a character that's just starting out being a hero. You have a character that has multiple issues, some of which they know, some of which they have no idea about. You have a character that has an unknown enemy that never will come up.
Never. Come on. Never.
So I think it's really a matter of what do you think you'd have the most fun playing, because I think the energy projector is a good idea. I think that the Paragon type is a good idea. I think that if you wanted to do a brick, that's absolutely the case. I will tell you that the one thing you're probably going to want to look at is with the Paragon, if you're looking at a Captain America type, you're talking about the same thing, that he has probably a lot of basic skills as well. Detective skills, things like that.
If I said Captain America, that was acting. I meant Captain Marvel / Shazam.
Right.
Not at those power levels, obviously, but yeah.
Right, but Captain Marvel.
Yes, I was going to say I want that.
I usually get the Marvel calendar, but they were all out, and all I got was the DC calendar. So I'm up to the Shazam. Let me make sure I got the month right. Okay, good. I went through the entire month of March going, that's strange. It's the same page. Oh, I really ought to advance the calendar a month. We won't ever talk about that again. So, if you want to do a Captain Marvel type, that there's certainly precedence. And within the Distinguished Society, there's definitely a lot of reasons why that would be a pretty cool thing. And to make it clear, there is no Distinguished Society group. You're not joining. No one's going to come to you and say, you're not going to have one-eyed Samuel L. Jackson figure show up and demand that you all get together and fight, something. This is the real binding is, where would your character be at a 6:30 on a Monday evening in New York City? and then we'll go from there. But I think that if you're looking for what would balance the group, from that respect,
The Paragon, I think.
okay.
I love it.
I think having somebody that can actually give kind of to support Andy's character within the spectrum of being good. I don't think Deadpool's a bad guy. I think Deadpool has a mission, and if not, he wouldn't have been hired to do things that were actually good. You know, I mean, and I think certainly the thing about Legion is Legion has personalities that are questionable, but a lot of their personalities are actually trying to be, you know,
All right.
they're trying to.
Personality 3 is certainly a hero. You know what I mean?
The problem, Mark, is you're thinking about the characters, not the player. Never mind. So anyhow,
See, he knows me for the last couple of years. He knows that I have a personality disorder myself. So yeah, let's go with the Paragon thing, and I would probably be having dinner at a moderate Italian restaurant in Lower Manhattan.
You already. Okay.
Yeah, Silas / I've named him Syndicate.
That's a good name.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So Silas, being Silas, not Syndicate, is sitting in Central Park, watching the pigeons be fed and just mesmerized by the circle of life.
Hey, wait.
Savannah!
Andy, what's your character going to be called? Do you have a real name, and where would you be at 6:30? And oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So I think the character, the real name is going to be Sven Laufenson.
Repeat that, please.
Then can you see on the side the chat?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just type it there.
Okay.
And that should be Richie, not Ricky. I'm sorry, I put a K instead of an H.
No worries.
Oh, that's a great name as well, dude.
Luffy's son, A.
Yeah.
You better hope to God the Asgardians don't hear about this.
They would love it.
Well, I'll give you all the state of that here in a minute. Okay. So
he's got like Norwegian ancestry. That's where.
Norwegian, A.
Yeah. Maybe there are ties. No.
In the region. Yeah. Hi.
Loki would probably be stupid for this. But sorry.
Well, we'll get there here in a minute. So how long have you been active as a hero as Thought?
As like a major hero, probably only a year or two.
So you're still relatively new.
Yeah.
How about we compromise, say, a year and a half?
That'll work.
So you're still within what we call the rookie phase of your time as a superhero.
I mean, so the way I figure him is like 20 and a half. So he would have found out right at the end of high school, gone to college, tried to kind of still fit in, but figure out a way to be a superhero at the same time. Might have been somewhere else, that would have been easier. Just there's no issues of, didn't I see you 3 years ago without a mask? But otherwise, yeah, would have moved back to the big city or moved to the big city, gotten, the stereotypical menial job, just working in an office somewhere that you can duck out of for a few minutes if he needs to and not attract a lot of attention.
So at 6:30 p.m., would you be heading home?
He'd probably be going to grab a bite to eat, right in karaoke with his friends.
Okay.
Might even be a moderately priced diner in Midtown or in Manhattan, but
Hey, you know what? There's a brand new Italian restaurant that just opened. It's moderately priced in Lower Manhattan. Go figure that out for craziness.
I think the karaoke place is just down the road from there.
It is Italian and karaoke, but I'll tell you the thing that makes this a real fictional game, Ken, whether you know it or not, your first part of fictional is you're going to find a moderate Italian restaurant in Lower Manhattan. Come on now. Aliens walk the earth, but they can't perform miracles. Just saying.
I guess I should be clear. Moderate quality.
Moderate quality. Oh, well, then you're not going to be in Lower Manhattan. You're going to. I got you. It makes sense. I just don't want you to live in this fantasy realm where you believe that there's like moderately priced food in Lower Manhattan.
Right, so you're probably not like, you might get like an appetizer at a restaurant like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Spen's not making a thing. Like he might, if his friends are going there, like maybe his friends are in finance, and they can go there. But they'll have like the salad, or just the cheese.
Yeah.
You filled up
like
on
an
the
Applebee's guy to me.
That guy's eating like 4 baskets full of breadsticks. What's going on with that guy?
When he can afford it, right? If breadsticks are free, yeah, he just chilling along the table.
You know, I think I'll have another round of free breadsticks. No, it's cool. Y'all order whatever you want, but the breadsticks are very filling.
And bring extra water too.
Yeah, and an extra large water. You'd be so kind. So Scaredevil, operating out of Manhattan, that's where the newest lead as to who shot you came out of, Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a question to ask you. On a 6:30 on a Monday afternoon, where would you be?
He's just trying to find a place to call like place right now, so then he can set up stuff for where he has leads and all that.
So you're looking pretty much for a base of operations.
Yeah.
You're looking for somewhere where you can lay low, rest your head, and not have to worry that some crazy person or that the. So we'll get to this in a second.
Yeah.
Understood. And finally, Ken, what are you going to call yourself? Now, Ricky, I got to ask one more question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut Ken off. Ricky, so we all know that Deadpool sort of looks like road rash hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have it. Are you hideous under the mask?
Some
You don't have to be.
You don't have to be.
no, like the top half is the ugly part. The bottom half is not.
So your face is fine here, but up here it's not.
No, like the face and like to the belly buttons, that's where the bad stuff happened. The legs and all that are just fine.
I understand. So you got horrible scarring everywhere above the waist.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to show that.
Okay. That makes sense. There's a character in a book series called Wild Cards. Great series. It deals with an alien virus that effectively created superhumans. And one of the characters is named Carnifex, and he has the Deadpool regeneration. But every time something breaks, it goes back, but not quite. So he's got a lot of scars on him, and he wears a full bodysuit so he doesn't get. It's a pretty cool character, but it sounds very similar. Huh?
I was gonna say, it kind of sounds like Daredevil to me.
Definitely has a moment. Ken, what are we calling you?
I think I'm going to go with Beacon.
Beacon.
Yep.
That's pretty decent. Sorry, Wookie, I need to write that down with you.
The guy's like, no.
Wookie, this is writing time. You need to go back in the window. Okay, count to 3. 1, 2, 3, and jump. Okay, good job.
Oh.
Man, I command even. That was cool.
Well, there's a bird outside, so I knew he was going to jump any minute because the thing was like, "Hi, how's it going?" And the cat was like, "It's cool, man. Come in. It's cool. We got bird seed." So, Beacon, are you like Billy Batson? You have another identity?
I knew you were going to ask that question.
Well, how dare I follow logic?
And I'm going to say no.
You're always Beacon?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask a couple of questions which aren't going to be predominant now, but I'm going to ask them later. As Beacon, have you always been Beacon? Do you recall only ever being Beacon?
As in, yes.
And how long back does your memory go?
How far back does regular memory go?
So
Fairly clearly till the age of 5 or 6, and then little snippets before that.
Okay, so I'm going to rephrase what my question is. You recall having a childhood and a regular life. How old is your character?
I'm going to be 18, extremely in the new rookie phase. What was the first part of that question?
You have the memory of a childhood and all of that.
I do, yes.
20 years ago.
My parents
95.
figured out fairly early what I was, and very much promoted the whole Big Blue Boy Scout / Captain White Bread image.
You would have been born in 1999. That's very fascinating.
I'm a member of the Authority.
What's that?
I'm the Millennials. No, you familiar with the comic The Authority?
Yes, and I know that they don't exist or anything like them in this world. They are, how do I put it bluntly? So there are superhumans in Manhattan. The largest group is a group called the Crusaders. They've been around since World War II. A comic book equivalent would be like they're like the Justice Society. There's a young group of heroes. Well, I got to bring up fucking notes because Ken made it difficult. Good going, Ken. Now I got to bring up notes.
I win.
You don't win, Ken. This is not a prize you want.
I win.
This is an anti-prize. I know prize, if you will.
Hey, those are good. Make mine Marvel. Make mine Mark.
Unfortunately, at this point, that's when he showed up. Stanley has appeared and immediately demanded that all of your character ideas were actually his idea.
Yeah.
And more importantly, he then proceeds to tell you that actually he thought of this idea back in 1963, and nothing you want or do will be part of his plan. Not that Stanley has ever done that. Not that Stanley has ever done that to anybody that's ever worked with. Unless your name happened to be Jack Kirby.
Luckily, that's not my name. My name is Kirby.
However, you didn't know that that's actually your middle name, Jack Kirby. So
my name is Kirby Jackson.
Still close enough. Hi, true believer. I don't think you understand. The mouse and I have made an alliance, unholy and otherwise.
Excelsior!
You now belong to us, completely.
All your ideas belong to us.
That's right. Don't try to even think about otherwise. I'll cut you real slow like. Oh, Mickey. What happened? All right. So I'm glad you asked the question. If you want to be part of a superhero group, there is an opportunity to join. There's a group of young-minded superheroes, and this goes for anybody, who are doing their best to make the world a golly better place. I'm not saying that to be facetious. And they're called stuff I should have wrote down in the other book.
It's an interesting name.
You would be surprised how the Increditeens.
I think I would like to have them be something I would like to join, but I don't feel that I am ready for it yet.
Join the Increditeens. They're not going to judge.
But I don't. I will.
You'll judge yourself?
Yes.
All right. The Increditeens are a new team in the city of Manhattan, made up of young, late teens, early 20s people.
So I added you to the campaign group. Okay.
Huh? The Crusaders are a superhero group. The only other things in Manhattan to talk about are probably a few other things. So back about 4 years ago, a terrorist group called Kronos, and they've been around since after World War II, tried to take control of Manhattan by literally cutting Manhattan off with a giant force field. And ever since then, people have been a little twitchy in the city. So there's been a bigger presence of not only law enforcement, but also you have the Crusaders, which has like probably 9,000 members at this point. I don't know. A lot of people still kind of hang out there. There's a group called Aegis. Aegis is in charge of North American special intelligence and enforcement, and they maintain their main headquarters here in Manhattan. Along with that, there's a couple of other little things that probably should be said. The god Horus, the Egyptian god Horus, floats above the city. They don't know what he's doing. He just floats and seems to be a silent warden. In Central Park, Aegis maintains a huge presence around Bedivere Castle. I don't know if you're familiar, but the water treatment area, one of the water aqueducts, actually looks like a castle in Central Park, and it's Bedivere Castle. And that's because a supervillain resides inside of it, and they just found it was a lot easier to maintain that they a connection, to just put a force field around him and make sure that he doesn't leave that area. But I digress. Well, so there are heroes here that you could probably have joined up with or associated with. Manhattan maintains its own kind of security network. The police actually have metahuman SWAT, and they have 10-foot tall battle suits that they occasionally employ. Simply because they've had a number of, for some reason, New York is a beacon to supervillains, aliens, terrible extraterrestrial threats, extra-dimensional threats, the occasional Girls Gone Wild video. What else has had? Giant monsters. We can't forget the giant monster. And horrible psychic backlash. And have I lost everybody? Did I lose anybody? Everyone went mute.
I'm here.
So, the last question to ask you, Ken, is I got a question to ask you, which is, so at a 6:30 on a Monday, where would Paragon be? And what is Paragon's real name?
I do believe I told you already where Paragon would be, and that began the whole...
Yes, the Italian restaurant. I didn't add that thing, but you didn't give me the other part, which was your name.
His name is Beacon, right?
Now, you want my secret identity name. Teddy Sizemore.
All right. So let me just run through everything we have so far. Corey is Syndicate, also known as Silas Phoenix. You've been recently discharged and are currently in Central Park at 6:30 p.m. on a Monday evening. Andy is Thought, also known as Sven Laufeyson. Swear to God, the Asgardians are going to want to have a talk with you. But you don't need to worry, because Ragnarok has happened. Sif controls the Golden City. The Asgardians that are still around, they're still looking for the Allfather. So they're not going to have time to really, hopefully, mess with you. Although, if they find out your name's Laufeyson, they may very well decide to take a break from what they're doing. Right? What? No. That guy has to... No, we better check that guy out.
But is Thor a woman?
No, Thor's missing, but Freya is currently acting as a superhuman on Earth with a fiery sword and a chariot full of giant cats. And it doesn't matter, because as Ken can attest, the Asgardians took a right pummeling when they apparently said no to someone, and that someone decided to push the issue. Set, the Egyptian god of darkness, war, deserts, fun guy. Lovely singing voice.
Luckily, Singularity was there to help him out a little bit.
Singularity said, dude, eat a Snickers. Stop trying to destroy the multiverse You always get like this when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. Worked exactly that
That's always me.
What was it there to the Hostess fruit pies? If you remember the old comic book ads with the Hostess fruit pies? We're going to destroy your world. Batman's like, have a Hostess fruit pie. Oh, wow, thanks. Now I'm arresting you. Or the one with Punisher, have a Hostess fruit pie. Hey, thanks, Punisher. That's what I said. No, really? How long has that been going on? That's terrible.
Hi, we're here too, Mark.
Yeah. Yes, but Wookiee's crying like, I've not been fed in forever, and the bird left. So what am I supposed to be doing now? I don't know, dude. With that being said, we have Jackson, who's Ricky Case. Ricky Case, right? Yes.
Is it Ricky or Richie, Jackson?
That's a hard one. Richie.
Richie with an H?
Let me change some notes.
I just don't like the Ricky.
Okay,
It doesn't sound right to me.
it's no worry. You don't want to have somebody going, Ricky!
Yep.
Ricky, did you
That
stop?
sounds like I'm just getting yelled at a lot.
You don't want to be called Richie. At least they have to be somewhat, Richie. You have to sound like an adult, but Ricky. Gotcha. And Ricky's looking for a place to lay low, recoup, find a place of base of operations in Manhattan at this time. So 2 people in a restaurant, 1 person in a park, and 1 person finding an operation. That's perfect. So I'm going to ask a couple of follow-up questions to get things ready. As I said, unfortunately, gentlemen, I don't think we're going to play tonight, but we'll try to get as close as we can. Stop that. So with that being said, Richie, when you're looking for a place to kind of be your base of operations, are you looking for just a place to kind of hide out, like rent a room somewhere or something?
I'm basically just trying to find like a abandoned place, or maybe like a small a place that I can at least have somewhere to hide my stuff and all that, and I know where it's like not out of the ordinary.
Right. Okay.
It's like it can be camouflaged somewhere.
Yeah, you're looking for the traditional kind of warehouse or abandoned building or someplace you can give them a couple of bucks and they're never going to bother you and you can hide out.
Yep.
Okay. That being the case, how do you get around town? Take the bus? Take the train? Take the subway?
Actually just walk on the road, the sidewalks a lot.
Hey, you know what? Walking's a perfectly good way to get around. And surprisingly, because there are actually a lot of non-human aliens, no one's going to turn a blind eye to somebody who's got like a full covering their horrible scars up. It's like,
no, he has the mask on, but it's over his hood. So
yeah, you got the hood. You have the hood sort of pulled over the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So really, people are there's an entire group of aliens that have full body encounter suits that are skin tight and they never leave them. So seeing somebody in a mask these days, you might get some if they really pay attention. But I assume you're probably careful enough not to act out.
If I see somebody if I look once in a while back behind me, then if I see something like following me, then I just turn somewhere and say, "Why are you following me?" Then just try to leave me alone.
Right. You don't think anybody's following you to begin with. I just was trying to get a kind of a feel of how you navigated through Manhattan.
But also, I might try to find somebody that could try to get me somewhere faster. So
yeah, you want to find a place you can get set up pretty quick to resume the hunt.
Then I go get stuff that I need.
What sorts of stuff do you want to try to acquire?
I need stuff like to put stuff on a board and all that, so I have where I think the guy is, where all my clues are.
Whoever this guy was, yeah, that's going to take some time, but you need kind of like a place, you need a base of operations.
Yeah.
So let me switch gears real quick. Silas, how long have you been outside the institution?
3.5 weeks.
3.5 weeks. And when was the last time you took your medication?
What medication?
Well, while you were in the institution, they obviously gave you pills.
Yeah, they thought I took those the whole time.
Oh, they'll find out.
He's really good at doing that mouth trick.
Oh, yeah, the mouth trick doesn't work as well as you think it does, because then they'll go to intravenous. But you answer my one question. You've been at least clean for a month, right?
He's definitely been without any meds since the day he left. And they gave him meds, but he doesn't take them without the supervision.
So you'd say probably about it. Let's go with this. A mildly psychotic personality with multiple personality dissociated disorder who hasn't had their meds in almost at least a month.
Yeah, about a month's time.
Wow. And you're in Central Park. So that's cool, having a telepath who's possibly a weapon of mass destruction downtown Manhattan in the park. I'm sure that never goes wrong. Okay, cool.
No, never. And also, you know what I mean? He's for some reason fixated on these birds because they're the only thing that makes sense to him.
Well, also, the way the other
They
point
get
is,
along perfect. Why not all the rest of us?
you can't trust the squirrels. They're up to something.
No, those squirrels are fuckers.
No, I mean, they're up to something. The way they look at you and then they seem to chitter to each other and run up another side of the tree, and then they turn around and watch you, they're up.
And then sometimes they come in your apartment like in real life for us.
Don't talk about that.
We don't get that problem here because we have the cats, and we have a lot of cats. So
yeah, we could have used one a couple weeks ago, to tell you the truth.
I wish I could, but somebody's allergic to them.
Yeah, we are, buddy. You're right.
I ain't that much.
Well, a little bit. Anyways, but anyways, yeah. So yeah, I can't see any problems with a psychotic,
you're fine.
dissociative person. Yeah,
Welcome
this is
to
gonna work
Manhattan.
out. This will work out great for everybody.
You know what? I wouldn't even think a second thought about it. Now, I'm just getting, like I said, some details here. Andy, with thought, you said that you pretty much have been a hero for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And you've kind of been in the situation where you got kind of brought along with dinner. People, your coworkers like you. Does anyone know that you have an identity as thought?
Not as far as he knows. I mean, it's always possible that someone's figured it out, but he's taking care not to let them know.
Okay.
He's trying to keep it as a secret identity. Hasn't gone full time and still trying to figure out how to keep that work-life balance.
It's tough, especially when you know, there are enough young heroes out there that it's kind of that weird place where there's a real median level of experience. So being young and having to balance a life and do that kind of work, are your parents still alive?
Yeah, they're in Minnesota. Like all the good Norwegians.
Trying to write as quick as I can. And one more thing. To your knowledge, your speed is because you believe you're a mutant, correct?
Maybe,
as far as you know, you're the only person in your family that's ever manifested abilities.
yes, but I mean, there's been like the stories of like Norse lineage. There's some thought, like there are the histories, like growing up, or the Norse mythologies. Hugo Noonan thought that's where the name came from, because nothing's faster than thought. The only thing that beat Loki, not quite as fast as that, but there's all that history. There's some thought that, and with a name like Laufeyson, maybe, but yeah, as far as you know, there's no history.
So as far as you believe you're a mutant who gained their abilities when you were 18.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's no lineage of heroes that are descended from.
We know you have parents. Do you have any siblings?
Only son.
Huh?
No, he's the only son.
Only child. Even better. All right. And one final question. You say you're just working kind of a menial job.
Yeah.
Would you say that with your experience and where it is right now, that you've probably been, has the press caught wind that you're a hero known as thought? Or are you still relatively unknown?
Hard to tell. So, with as many heroes as there are in New York City, there might be some. If someone's keeping track of heroes, yeah, he would have done a few things that are heroic, stop some robbery, something. But he's not doing.
Give an interview at any point to like the hero tabloids?
No, he probably would have speak out before that happened.
Okay. Well, that's sort of one of the things you have to worry about is that as heroes are a kind of a unique community, there are TMZ equivalents running around trying to get pictures of new heroes in action.
Right.
So they link you to like Taylor Swift or something.
Exactly. So there might be some people who are masks, a top up, like nose up mask.
Right. Okay.
So there are probably some blurry images of him, much like for like the original Flash. Like they're all kind of blurry pictures, but something's happening.
Yeah.
So for the most part, he's been pretty careful about not sitting still for too long, letting people take pictures of him.
Okay.
Still trying to be, because he might still want to go full time and be a hero, and it wouldn't matter if he wouldn't thought was a big hero. But if he's gonna just do it as like a hobby, maybe he doesn't want everyone to know who he is.
Well, there's that entire premise also where you're getting the you have to pay the bills. You're not at that stage yet where you can join a super group that will actually pay your rent. All right. Finally, Beacon. We know that your name is Andy Sizemore. And that
Teddy,
you are...
Teddy Sizemore.
Huh?
Teddy.
Type it up so I can hear it. So you type it up.
Teddy.
Teddy Sizemore.
Theodore.
My apologies, Teddy. Teddy, you've always been Paragon, so you've always had your superhuman abilities and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. You've gone out as Paragon, you've gone out as Beacon. Is this recent?
I have, I've gone public probably in the last 6 months. There probably was a time or two where I acted as clandestinely as I could.
Sure.
But as an actual Beacon about 6 months now.
What drew you to the name Beacon?
Well, I think it's interesting that you use that phrase because the beacon is what kind of draws people to safety, and kind of wanted to be that to the public.
Hey, man, that works.
Plus, all the better ones were already taken.
That's not true. They're perfectly fine. So, let me go ahead and get this situated. You've been around so you've effectively been, just to verify, Beacon is known for the last 6 months. So between him and Thought, they've been active the last year and a half, over the last little bit. Silas has just gotten out about a month ago, and Richie had just hit town. Richie, you're not from Manhattan, right? You're not from New York, right?
He's from uptown New York. He's like in the upper town.
Okay.
Is it where we are, Jackson? Up
Kind of,
Rochester?
but he's like more upwards.
Yeah. So it's easy for Jackson. Just tell him where you're from. You're from Rochester, New York.
Yeah. I'm from Rochester, but he's a little up toward more than Rochester.
So closer to the lake, Jax?
Yeah, more so closer to the lake. But then he just said, I'm just moving down the lake. Because that's where his trying to say, his,
Next lead.
trying, oh,
All right then.
his, okay, I say when I remember.
No worries. He's relocated to where he thinks he can get more information.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say better.
Not a worry. I understand. I knew where you were going with it. All right. So we'll get a little bit into things. We don't have a dice roller. That's cool. We'll just use, if you're you, do y'all have dice?
I got my dice.
You need 2 D10s for the majority of what you want to do. And one will represent the hunt, one will represent the 10s, and one will represent can't talk. One will do the 10s, one will do the 1s. It'll be up to you to roll. I'll do the same thing if I remember where I put my dice. To me, my dice. I wish that would work.
I think Loki had them a few minutes ago.
Yeah, 93 definitely does.
Awesome. Well, let's get some stuff situated here. Let me get the dice. Let me get my dice out. All right, come back here. Oh, damn Captain America pen. All right. Put that back in the Captain America ball. So, on a Monday evening, leading up to everything, it's kind of a background. For January, it's been relatively warm. And for warm, I'm talking about it's been in the 50s. Deceptively like it's early spring, even though everyone's fully aware that winter's not done with you. And it isn't just the fact that it's been an unusual winter. For those heroes that are active in New York and the greater Manhattan point, you've had to deal with a real transformation of some of the boroughs. One of the alien races called the Drakkar, and they're very tall, elfin-looking figures with, they, for lack of a better phrase, you would say that they could look like dark elves. They bought a whole section of underground tunnels and have been revitalizing sections. And the very first thing they said was, you actually live near this river. It's not very clean. We're going to go ahead and just clean that for you. Is that okay? Because you're really beginning to freak us out. But in Manhattan at this time of the year, there's pretty much the same things you would get anytime. With the warm weather, more people are out. Friends from work grab a hold of you, Sven, and say, hey, man, we're going to go try that Italian place downtown. You want to go? Are you in?
Yeah. It's no, I can swing it. I already paid my my rent for the month. So yeah, I can. Yeah, no, I'm totally in.
Forget about it. Don't worry about it. You catch the next one, okay? Come on with me. We're going to get you fed. We're going to get take in. Hey, Jones, Sven's in. That's table for 8. 8.
Got it.
Dude, you've got to do something about your budgeting, dude. You're always coming in late. I mean, you thought about maybe waking up earlier or something? Because it seems like you're always out of breath. You're getting in here late. You take long lunches.
I've tried waking up early. It's just, I can't get any work done. I'm so tired.
Oh, dude, no, I understand, but maybe you shouldn't go out so much. You know, I'm just trying to look out for you.
We're in the big city. How can I not? There's so much to do. I mean,
hey, no, I get that, but I'm just saying, you know, you don't want to get distracted. Well, come on, we'll grab you some Italian food. Everything will be fine.
Sounds good.
Across Midtown, about the same time, the birds have moved in a perfect formation, Silas. It's almost as if, well, there's that moment where they look at you as to why you're not seeing the perfect unity of their formation. Like you're not able to fulfill the greatest destiny that they can give you because you can't join them in the perfection of their migration. For a pigeon, which is a non-migratory bird.
Right, and internally, Silas says, "Are they talking to me?" And then he looks away.
Do you think they're talking to you, Silas? there's a man sitting next to you, dressed like what you would consider to be like David Niven, that English sort of thin mustache, well dressed with a little cane. Do you believe they're talking to you, Silas?
He looks over to his side, realizing that there's a person that's talking to him. He goes, "Are you talking to me?"
Well, I seem to be speaking to you, yes.
How do you know my name?
Master Silas, we have very few times we can have these conversations.
There's all kinds of time in this world. Why would there only be few?
Oh,
Seconds add up, and they turn into minutes, and then
yes.
into hours, and then into days.
Master Silas.
And then you might get
Master
lost.
Silas.
What?
We must attend to certain needs in order to make sure that the minutes don't add up into seconds, microseconds, nanoseconds. For instance, one should see to their basic survival needs. You can't sleep in the park. I have made some arrangements for you, Master Silas. I certainly hope you don't think me too forward.
Well, it did get cold last night.
Yes. It's very doubtful the police will be as welcoming to the idea of you parking yourself in the park, and there are those who are not as, how shall I say, willing. That's why I've been brought to be your caretaker in this matter.
No caretakers. No, and he starts to get up.
No, you misunderstand me. It's the way I speak.
Cannot put me back.
We don't want you to go back, sir. Your caretaker is in your man, your major domo, your butler, if you will. I'm here out of your need, Master Silas.
And what should I call you?
I'm Jeeves, Master Silas. The
Jeeves.
gentleman's gentleman.
Jeeves, like a fucking English like slave.
No, like a gentleman's gentleman, sir.
And then his tone changes. Well, I don't know exactly what you're talking about, because that doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh, madam, I assure you that this is more along the lines to address an overall concern. It's more that we want to make sure that you remain healthy, happy, and not within the medicated arm of the Institute.
You think I'm not happy? I'm always happy.
I think when hunger begins and the temperatures begin to affect, it won't be as happy. I'm only simply here to help you adjust to that, and Master Silas. As such, I've made arrangements for you. I am in your service, after all.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yes.
I'm here on Jackson's computer right now. My computer blue screen. It'll just be a second. I don't know. It's been being weird in the last couple days.
No worries. That'll give me a chance to jump to Jackson real quick. Richie.
Yeah.
On the screen. Looking
He's been doing it now.
So, Richie, you've got your supplies. You've got a place that's kind of it's a hotel and it's just like a little dingy hole in the wall sort of $30 a day place, like almost like a flop house. But you got the basement room and no one's going to bother you. And no one cares who comes and who goes. So you're practically visible. How do you want to set up your secret lair? Jackson?
Oh, it's me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a place you can
Something
use.
weird happened. I was like, what just happened to me?
No worries. Again, after a day of looking, what you found was that there's a number of what we would consider to be called flop houses or hotels that were big at one time. But you're able to pay a guy like for $15-$30 a day. You can have a basement room, which used to be in an old cold cellar, where they used to put the coal underneath the buildings. I mean, that's how this building is. It's perfectly defendable. It's private. It's right where you can begin looking and not draw attention to yourself. And it has a small elevator access to the street. Not even an elevator. It's like an old chute that you can take up and down. So you can set up if you want in here if you'd like.
I look at it, I'll be like, perfect. Then I just start. I put like, I have like a bag, a sleeping bag, and all that with my stuff. I have like everything that I said I would be like in survival stuff.
Sure. It won't take long for you to set up.
No, it's just like he's so used to doing this stuff. He's been doing it for a while, and he does it like in a minute or so, I guess.
You get it done in 10 minutes. You're completely set up.
Yeah, he's like, okay, now I do get some. Now he has to go. Now he has to go out there and get the stuff that he needs to make his board.
Yeah, and you also need a little bit of information.
Mhm.
You head up the street. Fair enough. About that same time, not too terribly far away. Beacon. Teddy.
I'm back, guys. Sorry.
No worries. Ken.
I was waiting. I was listening. I didn't hear an active action.
Here's your action. You wanted to go get a bite to eat tonight. It is crowded, but the thing that makes this good is it's good food at a moderate price.
That's right. So I'll wait a bit.
Okay. You're able to be seated. You're next to a large table of about 8 people that must work at the same building, as they're clearly like talking. This place is happening. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of food going on. Are you sitting by yourself, sir?
Yes.
You basically get a seat that's nearby, near the window. They bring you the full menu. All of our desserts are made in-house, sir.
Yes, I've eaten here before. They're both excellent.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us again.
Seemed somewhat questionable tonight. It's quite busy, but
Well, the word's
good
getting
for
out.
you. Good for you.
Well, we're hoping. I mean, it's very difficult. We've had a number of recent critics come in. They've done very well. May we get you an appetizer to start?
Yes. I'll have calamari.
Of course, we'll get it for you right now.
Excellent.
Andy, the same thing happens. The waitress comes up. She's very apologetic because of the business going on. Sven, you got to try these breadsticks, man. These are the best breadsticks in the city.
Have they been there? Have they been on the table for more than like 30 seconds?
They were until you got a hold of them.
I was gonna say I've already had like 3.
Yeah. Well, you've had a lot more because they keep bringing them out because apparently they believe endless breadsticks and that there are 8 of you. So a bunch of them disappearing is not that uncommon. But what's happening now is that as you're bringing more people in, it's the crowds are getting a little bit louder, and people are getting more. There's definitely more people coming in. It's right at the time where people are getting off work. Across the way is the entrance to one of the entrances to me dropping an entire set of notes. Put that back up there. Don't worry, it was Richie's notes. I guess Scaredevil, he jumped off a brick.
You would never do that.
Well, you didn't jump, you were pushed. But as dinner has begun and the rush has begun, there are definitely more people coming out, and they're not all normal-looking people. Again, you've got aliens and others living around here. Here's your menu, sir. What can we get you for this evening? Yes, Finn, order anything you want. Put it on the company account. This gonna eat pasta like nobody's business.
Can I get order the cheese sticks, 2 lasagnas, and what's your favorite side salad? Which one do you recommend?
Well, the Italian is made here fresh. We make all the Italian.
That sounds. I'll take one of those 2.
You better save some room for desserts, Finn.
There's always room for dessert.
Oh, killing me, Sven. You're killing me. Looks like we may have a little bit of thunderstorm coming in. We'll see how it plays out. Well, as you're getting set down and as they bring your drinks to you, Teddy, across the park, Silas, this gentleman, the British gentleman in question, sir, if you've not had anything to eat, we should see to attend to your hunger now. Master Silas.
Muted. Sorry about that.
I'm sure that conversation would like.
Yeah, so I'd like to pick it up where he's still in the female voice.
Absolutely.
So and we're always happy. Don't worry about it. So yeah. Wait, did you say accommodations? Like you're gonna put us up somewhere?
I've arranged for a room for you, Master. Yes, Mister. Yes, Madam. I have arranged for a room. And
it's Riley.
Riley. Yes, Mr.
Ryleigh.
Yes, Miss Riley. I've seen to it.
Okay. I think it's where is the room? Because it's not. If it's over in Brooklyn, I'm not going there.
No, madam. It's uptown.
I can't afford to stay uptown.
It's been arranged for you, madam.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I missed that part. Okay. Well, bye. And you see him kind of blink for a second. Was it Jeeves you said?
It is.
Well, where would I stay tonight?
I've arranged a room for you for everyone, as well as proper accommodations and preparation for a meal.
What do you mean? There's only me. What are you talking about?
Yes, sir. My apologies.
Sidebar real quick. He doesn't know that this happens.
Absolutely, and then he immediately adjusts to that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. My apologies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even sorry, I'm just a little sidebar conversation. Silas doesn't know this happens. I mean, it's like an out of body experience for him.
Then allow me to rephrase and retcon for a moment. Sir, yourself is who I refer to, sir.
Uh-huh.
My apologies.
Oh yeah. Well, who else would there be?
No one, sir. It's a manner of speaking.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Did I hear you say it was uptown?
Yes, sir. Not terribly far.
Is it a hotel? It's not an institution, right?
Sir, you will not
Because
be
like
returning to the institution. This is a gentleman's hotel. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, should I just give them my name?
Yes, sir. I will conduct you there myself if you'd like.
You have a car?
No, sir. Sadly, with the traffic congestion as it is, it may be more advantageous for us to take public transportation. There is a subway terminal not terribly far from here.
Well, can I say goodbye to the birds, please?
Absolutely, sir.
And he gets up. He kind of very slowly walks over to where a large flock of them are, around some corn that has been thrown on the floor. And he, for some reason, they don't scatter when he walks up. And he just kind of goes over and sits down, and you can't hear him, but he's clearly talking to them. And he kind of pats the ground a couple times and gets up and says, "Hey, who the fuck are you?"
Yes, sir. My name is Jeeves, sir. I'm here to attend Master Silas.
Who the fuck is Silas?
My apologies, sir. I'm here for you.
Well, yeah, it's Ruckus. So, what do you got?
I've
I
secured.
heard something about a room.
Yes, sir. I've secured quarters for this evening, sir.
Well, then lead on. Let's go. I ain't got all fucking day. Let's go.
Of course, if you'll follow me, sir.
And they walk. He is Ruckus until I say otherwise. So Ruckus
Well, I'd
is
say
2.
otherwise.
Oh yeah. That as well. Ruckus is 2. Riley is 5, and we haven't met 4 yet. I mean, sorry. Riley is 4, and we haven't met 3 yet.
Well, at about that time, Richie, you've gotten the supplies you need to build your map. Now begins the point where you've got to begin to actually build your who might know something.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is who knows what. No one knows what's really going on. You have to get that information.
Yeah, I'd like be like sneaky and all that. And it's like he's like, oh god, here we go. I have to be sneaky again.
It's terrible. It really is. It's a terrible situation. Because now it's a matter of using what knowledge you have in order to procure additional intelligence. You know, draw that information out, find out who did it. You last heard that somebody had requested somebody with the last name of Case, maybe years ago, roughly.
And then he just remembers that he's like, maybe I should start looking there.
As you begin to head downtown, gentlemen, your 2 lasagnas and side salad are delivered. Mr. Teddy, what did you order this evening?
It's on you, Ken.
Ken.
Ken, you there, buddy? Are you muted, maybe?
Well, we'll get back to Ken. As you see a man being barbecued at the Italian restaurant. Obviously, this isn't normal, but, you know, if you don't pay attention, we get to tell you what happens. Obviously, he didn't pay the bill. The meal's not bad. The lasagna's filling for a few minutes at least. A lot of empty carbs. Wow, Sven, I was kidding when I said get whatever you wanted, man. When was the last time you had a hot meal?
Since about you're the first one, like take a few bites of the second one. I mean, I didn't eat a breakfast this morning at all. I was in a rush. I was running late.
Oh, I get that. I'm just, wow, man, you put it away. I mean, how the hell are you able to do that? I mean, look at this guy. He looks like he's running everywhere.
I mean, I just got a fast metabolism.
Man, I'd kill for a metabolism that fast. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm hungry all the time, man.
I can see why. What do you do to get so hungry? I gotta know. You're not on meth, are you?
No, it's just growing up in Minnesota, those cold winters, your body learns to burn fat, keeps your energy up so you don't like freeze to death.
I
Now
get
that
it.
it's warmer here, it's just body's got nothing to do but just make me hungry apparently.
I guess, man. I guess. You know. Halfway through your meal, Ken, are you back?
Yes.
What'd you eat?
Eggplant parmesan.
Eggplant parmesan. It got brought out about the same time that the guy came to the other table. Apparently, had 2 lasagnas. You're maybe 3 bites in. You're almost on the second lasagna. Richard, heading to the location that you know you get information. And Ruckus, Gigi's escorting you out of the park. And you hear something that's sort of vaguely like pressure. You know, like that popping sound that occurs when lightning strikes, but right before the boom. It's loud. It shakes the windows. Hell, in the restaurant, it shakes the actual silverware. Outside, Richie, you can feel the static electricity from wherever this was rising the 2 hairs you have on your neck. And Ruckus, it makes you feel like in that moment where you might have been underwater and you feel that pressure and then you come to the surface and it releases. That's exactly what it feels like. People around you are reacting near the entrance to the park. When the sound hits, however, it breaks out the windows around a 10 square block radius. That is the loudest clap of thunder you'd ever heard. And you've all heard it. And you have a general idea where it was coming from.
What's the scene in the restaurant at this point?
Huh?
Because inside the restaurant, mass chaos.
Panic. People are like, oh my God! It's a bomb!
Yes.
And you're acting like crazy.
Hold on a second. Let's go to Andy and then we'll go to Corey. We'll just go down my Andy.
Yeah. I will take the opportunity to have my mask and costume on.
Can you use?
Okay, so I wouldn't have the mask and costume on me, but it'd be fairly near. I mean, close enough I could run to.
Yeah.
So I'll take the opportunity to, like, in the panic, in the chaos, I'll run, go put the costume on, and get back and try and figure out what's interrupted my meal.
Absolutely. It's panic, but people aren't, well, let's see. People aren't, New Yorkers who've been in this situation before, some people are even still eating. They're like, okay, well, there's not much we're going to be able to do. We're paying like through the tooth here. You are easily able to go out with a bunch of the people who are trying to calmly and yet shrieking their way out, evacuate.
The tourists,
some of your co-workers, some people that probably aren't as hard. You take off and go. You're able to recover your suit and get it turned back, and you're heading back to where you think you heard this sound. Ruckus? Ruckus, Silas?
Yeah.
Some of the people around you were knocked down by the kinetic force of that impact. You were not. What would you like to do?
Hey, was Jeeves knocked down?
No, he doesn't seem fazed by it.
That was kind of strange.
Pressure kinetic waves, sir. Probably the release of stored up electricity similar to a thunderclap. It's coming from that way.
Oh, is that the direction we have to go?
Well, that is the way of public transportation, sir, but I would imagine with the sounds of the emergency sirens going off right now, something probably has happened near the nearest metro.
Okay, well, it's quite, I really would rather not go towards the authorities. Every time I see the authorities, they lock me up.
Of course, Master Ruckus. But it seems that there are...
Oh, no, it's Phoenix.
Of course, Master Phoenix. However...
Who's Ruckus?
It's not important at this time, sir. Let me be more specific with you, Corey. Whenever you change, he immediately addresses you by whatever your name is at the time.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fine. You know, I mean, it's going to start giving him the idea that there's something going on, which is great.
It seems that there probably are quite a number of people that are injured at this time, sir.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if we can go undetected, I don't have a problem. But I can't say that they really let me out of the institution.
Oh, certainly, sir. But I would assume that perhaps the institution is not only seeking you out, sir.
Yeah, I've seen the van and such. They're never going to catch me, though.
Of course not, sir. It isn't you that I'm concerned about at this time, sir. I think that they would be foolish to try.
Yes, I'll break out again if they do.
Shall we go to investigate the scene, sir? Or would you like to retreat?
Jeeves, the question is this, is if you have my back, then I will follow you. Because you seem as if you want to help me.
Master Phoenix, I am here specifically to help you.
Then let's move onward.
Yes, of course, sir.
Well, okay then. Then we should go, right? We should go, right? Right.
Yes.
To help. We should help.
Of course,
That's what we do.
eminently sensible, sir. After.
Well, then let's hurry.
Of course, sir. Shall we pick up our pace?
Yeah.
Very good.
Justice likes to get there and take care of things.
Yes, sir. Richie.
That's the third one, obviously.
Richie.
Jack.
You were almost knocked off your feet, Jack. Richie. And there are people who have been hit by little pieces of debris, but something big is happening over there. That's generally where you were going to go to get information from. You going to stay on the sideline, Scaredevil, or you want to go investigate? Okay, I'll come back. Oh, Teddy. Ken?
Yes, sir.
Well, to suggest that you're interrupted is significant.
That is entirely irrelevant to me. I am headed towards the commotion.
Very good.
Finding a place to get myself heroically presentable and seeing what is amiss.
Very good. So I'll describe the central scene as Thought, Beacon, and Syndicate. And I'm not sure what Daredevil's doing. Just chime in whenever you can, Jack. But the three of you, and actually for Scaredevil, he'll probably see it as well. The three of you come into the situation, and it's utter chaos. It looks like they're just beginning to do elevated trains again in this part of town. And you can definitely tell that someone has perfectly cut a good swath of the train track in half. Like if the train is this section, and normally it's like this, it's actually about like that now. And you can actually see the train's been bisected by something that cut it cleanly. The edges of the train are glowing, and it's not too hard to figure out what's happened. Down by one of the power transformers is a fellow wearing a black costume. Comes up to about here. It's got blue electrical arcs running through it. And he seems to be basically at this point standing there, just like the electrical systems coming off the Con Ed, the Con Ed Edison electrical systems are just feeding into him. And he's standing there waiting, looking as the people are trying to desperately get out of the train, which has kind of gone to its side because it got literally hit in motion. There's a lot of people down. A couple of police vehicles have arrived. One of them has been literally cut in half perfectly, as if by an arc laser.
My first move is to save the people that are savable.
Very good. And surprisingly, the ones that are on the track itself, and you can see that one of the trains is hanging slightly, one of the pieces of the train. So you fly up. It's about damn time one of you good gunners showed up. But you go in and you immediately support it and help some of the people on the train begin to evacuate. Thought, you arrived actually ahead of Beacon, but Beacon flew right into it. What would you like to do?
Actually, that was my thought as well. So once you said he's going to like stabilize the train, basically. Once the train's stabilized, I'm just going to start running in, grabbing a person or two if they look like they're light enough. Kids first.
Sure.
and then just like try and just get them 100 feet away, just so that anything immediately happens, and just get as many of them as I can.
Ironically, Beacon, in thought, when you two realize there's another metahuman here helping, it makes things a little bit easier because from Beacon, your perspective, you see a blur of motion moving people off the train and down toward the other exit. Thought, this guy must be superhumanly strong because he saved a person who was about to be crushed underneath the side of a train, and he's actually righted the part of it that was about to fall. Syndicate, you've arrived into the area, and we assume Scaredevil is nearby. Are you back yet, Jackson? And have you heard what I described?
Jackson, I think you're muted, buddy, or something. If not, come in here so you can talk. Because we can't hear you. I can hear you because I'm in the apartment. But come in here, buddy. We're in separate rooms. So
No worries.
Jax! I don't know what happened. Just come in here, okay?
Yep.
So come here, sit down, and then just there's no reason to be all stressed out. Sit down.
Hey man, technical things happen all the time.
I had one tonight too, dude. It's all right. So did you hear what he was talking about? Okay, cool.
I heard everything. I think
I don't know. Your mic isn't working or something.
Or maybe just put in a different one.
So, what is he doing
He's now? This might be the guy that tried to hurt me when I was younger. He's
not a bad choice.
Then he just runs as fast as he could to get down there.
Sure. Okay. When you get down there, you see that this guy is just crackling with electricity. And the police have been kind of pushed back at the moment because he did cut a cop car in half, and the other police are trying to take cover behind concrete barriers or risers where the stairs go up to the platform. Well, let me see. How many do we have? Flying guy. You fly, right, Beacon?
Yes.
Flying guy, running guy. Let me guess. You're the kung fu guy?
He uses swords and kung fu at the same time.
This is going to be interesting. What's your name?
He's Scaredevil.
You're Scaredevil. Why does that?
This is the bad guy talking, right?
The bad guy's talking.
Not the DM, right?
No. Bad guy. Here. The villain card. Scaredevil. Why do I know that name? I swear I've heard that name recently.
Maybe you have. And then he takes off the hood.
Oh, Jesus. Looks like somebody worked you over with a baseball bat made of studs. That did not look like that healed well. This is certainly not going to heal well. Hey, wait a minute. I know where I've heard that name from. Yeah, now that I think about it. Boy, kid, you're over your head here. You've managed to evacuate the train about the same time that he's talking to Scaredevil. Syndicate, you've wandered into the area. And you've seen the scene I've described. This guy looks like he's just pulling power in right now.
So we better get over there and help. It's and Justice is looking around, trying to look as if he could help as well.
Sure.
He would be using his telekinetics to move off, move debris, so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
and so on and so forth. Yeah, at this point, Syndicate looks like he's very helpful.
Well, let me tell you what's
of what he looks like here in a moment. I
this.
make those.
This guy's beginning to look like he's getting ready to do something. So, Scaredevil, what's your deal, man? Are you just a karate guy that's been hideously burned, or something else? Because you're gonna love what's about to happen to you.
Don't remake me no more, man.
I know who you are now. Yeah, you have to be that kid. Man, he's gonna crap a brick. He's gonna laugh his ass off when he finds out you didn't die. He's gonna think that's the most crazy thing he's ever heard. Except, I think I'm gonna try to kill you and stop that. Cool? But
you can never kill me.
oh, I bet I could probably put enough juice in you that if I don't kill you, you sure as hell ain't gonna feel good afterwards. That's what I do. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Thought and Beacon.
And then you just see he grabs both of his swords. And then he's like, just bring it, man.
Well, let me tell you a funny story. 1 second before I tell you the funny story. Beacon, Thought, and Syndicate. With the three of you working together, you've managed to free the majority of the passengers that were trapped. There were probably only about 12 people on the train that couldn't get off the train. An elderly man who seems rather not belligerent, he doesn't say anything. A woman with 2 children, a group of just people coming home who weren't able to get off the train. You're able to evacuate everybody. And down below, Scaredevil pulls out the swords. Bring it, man. And this fellow looks at you and go, all right. You know what the funny part about swords are?
I know.
Yeah. They're made of metal.
Mm-hmm.
This may sting a bit. So for a brief moment, Scaredevil, there's a stinging feeling, and there's a burny feeling, and then he's like, huh, well, that'll teach you. And then you get back up.
And I'm like, that's what you got?
Oh, it ain't a got, no, but that's usually enough. Guess I'm going to have to really draw the power. So what we'll do is we'll go around the table, and I'll get an action from what you want to do, and we'll see what you're doing. Most everyone sees what's going on here. I assume at this point that the condition is you've gotten the people off the train, as 3 of you immediately went in to do that. So the train has been evacuated, and you've put them back, as I'd heard Thought do. He at least put them 100 feet back. Between Syndicate and Beacon, you've actually stabilized the train, so there's no danger of collapse. So we'll go around and we'll get a feel for what people want to do at this point. Thought?
Yeah, so just to clarify, I may have missed it. You said he's drawing power. Is he like holding on to power lines, or is he just like drawing it through the air?
He's drawing it through the ground. He's standing over what looks like a platform that would normally lead down to the Con Edison power conduits.
Okay.
So he's,
all right. Are there any fire hydrants nearby?
there are. You're close. You're probably about 50 feet away from one, simply because it's near the entrance to the subway or the raised track portion. So yes, there are fire hydrants nearby.
I would like to try and I want to try and get the cover off of that fire hydrant and spray water on them if I can.
Okay. So what we do is that this is going to be what's considered God, I forget. Brain's not working. I've lost the ability to remember what these words are. So this is going to be kind of an action that will require 2 different rolls. So what we'll do is we'll go first to just, it's an automatic action. Marvel's pretty easy about the idea that you can do certain things automatically. For the purposes of this, he doesn't realize you're moving. He's totally, one thing Scaredevil's done fairly well is This guy's now focused squarely on Scaredevil. He's not paying attention to anything around him because he really thought that Scaredevil would be lit up like a freaking, Christmas tree. And he just sort of, yeah, that stung, but I'm okay. So right now, Richie has taken all of his attention. You're able to get over to the fire hydrant and just moving your hand quickly, you can uncap it, but you want to direct the water toward him. That's going to require the actual feet roll because that's what they call it. It's a feet roll. So percentile dice.
Okay. 61.
And ironically enough, you're able to at least, what you're probably able to do is to vibrate your hands or utilize an object to begin to kind of force the water to flow in a different direction. At the same time that's going to happen, because all of this is occurring at one time, Syndicate, Justice, you've managed to evacuate the last of the people. What would you like to do now? Because something's happening at the same time.
So yeah, we got to take care. Hey, Jeeves, you're still here?
Of course, sir.
Here, hold this, and if you give me just like 2 seconds, give me just 2 seconds. All right. It's yeah. Just here, hold on to my jacket for a moment, here, Jeeves.
Of course, sir.
He sees the source of the power, right? He sees the person that is the guy with the swords is attacking.
Yes, and you see a wave of unguided water that's sort of going that way.
All right. So what he's gonna do is, as the water's coming towards him, because I feel as if he's on the other side of all this.
Sure.
He's going to try to help direct that water towards the guy with the swords, because at this point he doesn't know if the guy with the swords is the bad guy or the other guy, because he hasn't been talked to.
Well, that's true, but you did see that the guy with the swords jumped in the way, and then the guy took initiative and tried to fry him.
But it didn't work out.
Well, the guy's getting back up, and that's like, okay, normally people are crispy. That guy just looks like he's ready to stab something.
All right. Yeah. So, he certainly would try to, direct the water as best he could towards, the big bad that we think is there.
Percentile dice.
And yeah, that's what he's trying to do at this point.
Absolutely. If you make a percentile dice roll, please.
Yes, sir. 28.
Now, we have something in Marvel which I like to do, which is normally called the Hand of Fate. Marvel believes strongly in heroic actions. And as higher is usually better, 28 would normally be a miss. But once per game, you can re-roll your dice. We haven't had to bring it up yet, so I figure, would you like to use your one time now or save it?
Please.
Re-roll.
83.
Very good. Now give me one more minute and I'll explain what's happening. Beacon. I'm not skipping you, Scaredevil. I'm coming right back to you because I think you're going to have a most unique reaction. Beacon, you've managed to evacuate and straighten out the train, and what you saw was a bright flash of blue lightning arced through a guy with two swords. And he sort of dropped, but not really, and now he's standing back up.
Well, but probably before I fully process him standing back up,
Right.
I probably think, as I have a bit of a hero complex, that he was probably one of these street level dudes that, thinks he's bad with some swords, and he's just been fried by whatever this guy is. So I'm going to do the stereotypical fly at full speed, pass through, punch the villain. Attempt to do that. Obviously, whether it's successful or not is a different story. But that's my intent, is to do the fly through punch on Mr. Bad Guy.
So why don't you give your dice roll?
76.
Well, now I get to go Scaredevil. Scaredevil.
Am I, can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Okay.
Ken, may I ask you to mute again real quick?
I already did.
Very good.
So you can hear me
I can hear you fine.
now? Okay. Thank you.
So what do you do?
So what's happening right now?
Well, here's what you're saying. He's like, you made the comment, they'll take, I can't be killed. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to see about that. As he's moving back to do the famous, I'm going to throw everything I've got into this blast. But you see behind him something fairly unique. There's a wall of water about to hit him, like a tidal wave in the middle of Manhattan of water. It looks like it was being directed from a high-pressure fire hose, and now it's been condensed, and the villain has no idea that it's behind him and about to hit him.
In my head, I say, I think I need to distract him more so this could hit him more.
Sure.
And I'm like, just it won't hurt me anymore. I don't feel any pain.
Oh, you're going to feel a lot of pain. You're about to feel all the pain I can. And then he snaps back as something flew by and hit him. Son of a fuck! And then a giant wall of water hits him. So, Scaredevil, it's a good thing you regenerate because that's a lot of discharge. Oh my God, you killed him. No, he's fine. Thumbs up. Scaredevil's good, everybody. Thought and Syndicate, from your perspective, Syndicate thought you got the water going in the direction and then suddenly something was guiding it. You didn't see what. It had no physical presence, but it didn't just amplify it. It sort of funneled it and then pushed it. This guy got hit. He was like ready to just tear Scaredevil apart when the wall of water wasn't the first thing that hit him. Beacon, your hand actually stings some from when you made contact. That electrical field was not fun, but that definitely was close to it. It made him actually throw his aim off, but it didn't matter because a giant wall of water hit him. To make a long story short, there's a bright flash of blue light from the electrical discharge, which is now dissipating. Unfortunately, it hit Scaredevil, but since he can't be killed the conventional means, it's kind of interesting to see how things are going to go. A few moments pass. There's silence.
Well,
Oops.
it happens.
You went
Apparently
away.
he didn't want to do it. And the villain's gone.
Yep.
That's how we kicked his butt. We kicked the villain. Booyah.
No, I was distracting him the whole time.
Man, and you're echoing like crazy, dude.
It was such a powerful blast, it knocked me off. Sorry. Here's basically what happens. And I apologize. We're having a little bit of a thunderstorm, so I may need to go here in a minute.
Oh, no problem, buddy.
That's what that was about. Was I was suddenly sitting there. That's Syndicate. Okay, I see. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I make these for almost every.
I like it. Well, getting back to it. Thought from the bright flash of light, it's ear splitting, and in a moment it's all over. This guy in the black is on the ground, twitching as if he's been hit by something fairly significant.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I just want to make sure you can still hear me.
I hear absolutely. Syndicate, Scaredevil, Beacon, and Thought. You're all pretty much here, and this guy is down. I mean, he's not moving. I mean, he's breathing, you think. He's groaning a bit, but he's not going to get back up. He's obviously, that water hitting him and then getting punched by Beacon definitely was not his afternoon cup of tea. You're pretty badass supervillain until somebody punches you with super strength, and then you get discharged.
Hey, Jeeves.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go fuck this dude up. I'll be right back.
Sir, may I be so bold as to suggest something? You have a very short time before the authorities arrive, sir.
The hell do I care about the authorities?
You wouldn't normally, sir, but the Institute will no doubt want to understand why you're present here, sir.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think. But just a moment, okay? And he thinks really hard. Ruckus is the telepath. So he goes, who in the hell are you? And it's inside the head of the supervillain.
Could you make a roll, please?
Yes, please. That is a 78.
This fellow's name, and you're able to read it because he's mostly unconscious, is named Ark. He is a villain who's the member of a villain group called the Sinister Syndicate. They are for hire. Ark was waiting for the train. His mission specifically was to attack the train at 6:30 because he was told the old man was on the train and this would be his best chance. You get the distinct feeling that Ark is not the brain power of the Syndicate. Perhaps not even number 2 brain power in the Syndicate. More like he doesn't get asked to consult on the technical aspects. He is, however, really powerful when it comes to electrical attacks. His job was to attack the train and deal with the old man. Those were the exact words told to him.
Yeah, and then he asks one last question to him. He goes, "Who's the old man?"
Ark doesn't know who the old man is. He just had a picture of the man. If the guy got off the train, deal with him. He is, however,
he rips that picture out of his head.
Absolutely. And more importantly, he then wants to tell people that he's seen that kid that's been asking all those questions. He's going to have to go back to McCready's and tell McCready that obviously, McCready's going to want to tell this to what's-his-face, that kid's here in the city looking for him. It's going to get back to Pinpoint. Pinpoint's going to want to know about this. It's going to just be... This guy thinks it's great.
Ruckus has stopped caring about whatever he's babbling to him and goes, "So, we're off then, right? Can I have my coat back, Jeeves?"
Yes, sir, if you're prepared to depart.
Yes, I think it's a wonderful idea. The authorities will be here quite quickly, I think. You should be off.
Yes, sir. Meanwhile, on the street, Scaredevil.
Yes.
You're standing victoriously above a figure who's dripping wet and burbling to himself unconsciously. Beacon, you're also nearby, as is Thought. The three of you are still present.
I walk over to him and say, "How do you know me?"
Well, he's not in any condition to answer.
Yeah. He also just had somebody talk right into his brain, Jackson.
As he goes to do that, I'm going to move towards Scaredevil and you need medical attention. You're
I'm fine.
but you look horrible.
I'm fine. I'm used to it.
I glance over at Thought. You assisted me with the people on the train. Thank you.
It was the least I could do. You're superhero too, right? I go to give him a high five.
I attempt to be and return the high five.
Excellent.
Probably a bit too exuberantly.
Son. Okay.
Sorry.
Scaredevil, as you're leaning over the guy, he's not able to really cohesive, but you see that he has two things on him. He doesn't have any real pockets, but on the inside of his uniform, you see that there's a piece of two pieces of soggy paper that are folded together.
I look at those papers.
One of the papers says 6:30, has the train number, and has a kind of a printout of an old man. And if you bear with me, I'll get...
I flip it up, and I just put it in my pocket.
Sure. The other piece of paper says McCready's code, and it gives a date.
I say, I say to the other guys, say, you ever need anything with me, I can help you guys out.
That sounds like a good thing. Do you already have a superhero group you're a part of?
No, I'm just trying to figure out something was done by myself, but then I heard this and I was like, I guess I'll try to help out more people. So
Because like I thought about joining the credit teams, but I mean I think I'm a little old for them, and they're not really not really what I'm looking for. But
yeah.
So do we see Syndicate off to the side or no?
You can all make percentile dice rolls.
Okay, what is it?
2d10.
No, same thing you've been doing
2d10?
all the time. So the
All right,
you
so it's a
the
44.
Okay. You do get the free reroll. You can use it any one time. Should you choose to want to use it. Very good.
So I mean, if I don't see him with the 44, then at this point I'm just gonna let him go.
There's a lot of people. That's the biggest problem, is that there really are just people. The police have arrived. The media is here. You see a large AV-looking vehicle landing with a big pair of handcuffs on the bottom, and they immediately come out. Excuse us, pardon us, excuse us.
Yep, and as they are doing that, I'm just putting my hood back up.
Absolutely, and as you're doing that, was that a 27 I saw from Beacon?
You're correct, sir.
All right.
And that's why I have a 61, so.
You know, for a moment, Scaredevil, you saw a guy walking off talking to himself. But
Yeah.
New York, that's not really strange, you know. I mean, but he was actually,
Yeah, it's like, and that's normal.
yeah. I mean, the other part was that guy was saying things like, "Really, Jeeves?" or something equivalent.
Yeah.
But as you move across,
And I say to the other guys, you guys are you guys from here?
Do we come here often? Is that your question?
Yeah, basically. That's how I was trying to say that.
I am local, yes.
I mean, I'm from around here. I'd kind of rather not be dealing with all the cops and the media. Is there a certain get
Why
away
would you
from
not want to be? Why would you not want to be acknowledged by the media? You set an example for others. I'm sorry?
It's not a thing for me right now.
Right, and I'm not really sure I'm ready to handle all the notoriety.
you're going to need to move quick because there's a lot of them coming in. Apparently, they sense blood in the water, figuratively, literally, and they're coming in quick.
I'll deal with them if you two wish to remain anonymous. Hopefully, I will see you again.
Yep.
You can't help as the three of you begin to split off. Beacon, you're staying to talk to the police.
Yes, I'll hover to make myself
More heroic.
obvious. And yeah, a little
It never
heroic.
hurts because the cape, capes are wonderful. I know they get a bad rap, but let's face it.
No capes.
No capes.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work unless if you're doing the cool Superman thing, it's okay to have a cape. Because that just seems like hella cool. It's like, hello, I'm flying above you now. See me fly? You're able to easily, they have questions. Halfway through, a woman wearing kind of a black and red suit with a webbed cape. One of the Increditines has arrived, Arachmis. Is everything all right? That's the sort of reaction you're getting. Thought you're able to get back to where you want to head, Thought.
So if Spirit Devil had pointed to like, because I know I'd asked if there was a place to get away, keep somewhere, I would have just taken off to like an alley or a side street or something just to get out of the immediate hustle and bustle, and then wait if he caught up with him.
Okay. Well, you catch up with your friends. Did you see what happened? Oh my God! Was that right? I'm just making sure you were going back to them.
No. So after I finished, the police started showing up. I said, man, I want to get out of here. Do you guys know any place safe to get out of here? So I think Scared Devil started to say something, and I couldn't hear real well. So if he said
Yes.
yeah, if he pointed one way or the other, I would have just taken off like
Yeah,
towards the side street in that direction.
Okay.
Right. So Jax, he's asked Scare Devil if you know a place. You know a place.
I know a place. I would definitely help you out.
Like you which way is it, real quick?
Start leading the way, Jax.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So once you point, I'll just take off, and I'll be sitting waiting over there in the corner.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. We're going to need to bring this slightly to a close, but this is just the intro, so to speak. As you're able to pull away, as Syndicate has headed toward the place, and as Scare Devil takes or gives directions to thought, Beacon's able to answer questions of what he saw or what he's been part of in this. The thing that you basically immediately hit is that this is an attack on Manhattan in this time of day at this time is just so unheard of. It's thrown people off.
Yeah.
But you have the strangest feeling, no matter who you are or where you're at, that for the briefest moment, you were being watched. And not through a telepathic means or anything like that, just that odd feeling you get when somebody's behind you that may be in a restaurant that they were looking over your shoulder, or maybe at a movie theater, that sort of feeling. And if the camera pulls out a bit to the hotel that Jeeves takes you to, which is ironically the same exact place Scare Devil is staying, there's
So it's not a hotel at all.
No, it's a dive, but it's a clean dive, and it's a dive which the Institute won't find you in.
Yeah.
And apparently it's already been paid for because the guy behind the counter is giving you that strange, okay, look like he's mentally been told certain things. But as it pulls away and Beacon is finishing the last of his communication, there's an old man with a cane who was roughly on the train, and he's watching the building that you've now gone into, very interested with a level of interest that isn't normal. And if that's all right with everyone else, I'm going to call it there for tonight at least.
I'm fine with that.
We'll actually get with the real game next time.
I actually, just really, really quickly.
Yes.
You don't have to actually go through it at this point, but I'll interact with the superheroine that showed up.
Arachne.
Yeah, I'll find out what she knows about the villain that we took out, which I assume is similar to what he pulled out earlier.
Very good.
And I will be very gracious and, kind of like, thank you for coming to help. Luckily, we managed to deal with it.
Okay.
Well,
what I'll do, Ken, is I'll probably post something to you, which we'll go over that.
Okay.
And I'll respond to that, and the rest of everybody will pick up from this point next time.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Oh my God, there's so much. I already like it.
Well, thank you very much. I like all of your characters. I think it's going to be very interesting. So I'll plan on seeing you guys later.
All right.
I'm going to the systems now because we're having just enough noise outside to make me go, well, I don't want to lose anything tonight. So,
all right, cool.
Talk to you all later.
Hopefully next time will happen again.
Hopefully.
See you later, Mark. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Yeah.